What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, to an unusually loud LSG Sky Chef situation yet again. I cannot figure out how to turn these JAR ground handling vehicles down. They are so loud. But what is up, guys? Happy New Year's Eve. Happy New Year to you if you're already in the new year. Matter of fact, Vietnam is already 1 hour into 2022. So happy New Year to all of you. I've noticed on my analytics on the channel that throughout the course of this Asia Pacific tour, I've actually picked up some small viewership numbers from Asia and Vietnam in particular. So I do appreciate you tuning in, joining the stream, hanging out with us in chat, viewing the content. Good to see everybody here today, all the regulars, all the members. Look at all those epaulets in chat. Paul Smith, excuse me, Al W. Wojtek, Digital of Merck. Who do we have here as the mods? Fubar, Dimitri, good to see you, sir. It's always good to see you back in the chat, man. I hope you are getting ready for a wonderful New Year's. Hope everything is well with you and the fam, sir. Welcome. Frozen Vancouver, indeed, up there. Christian, good to see you. Fort George. Cartage Wool, I did indeed get it sorted. I'll tell you about it later. I'm pulling my hair out, but we do have the Juicy Carta engines going on there. Spirit Wings, Blake Renton, Robert S. What is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. All right, so this is our lovely A321 in the Vietnam livery. I really have to say, I think this livery is very impressive. It has grown on me. When I first saw it, I was like, meh, it's cool, but I've seen better. But then the more I look at it, the more impressed I get. I just think it's a cool looking airline, especially if you look at real photos of this particular aircraft. They are extremely good looking in real life with the shine of the Airbus. It got kind of a weird ramp lighting situation going on here. It's supposed to be dark out, but the ramp is lit, so X-Enviro doing X-Enviro things. It looks like we're going to be jumping from the jet bridge over to the L1 door there because they didn't quite push it all the way in. Nevertheless, let's hop into the cockpit, guys. My voice sounds much further away than usual. No, it shouldn't be. It should be the same. I mean, I can talk really close if you'd like, but no, I think it's just the sound. The sounds were a little messed up from being outside, but let's get this thing fired up. Vietnam is 2:30 a.m. now, I believe. So is it 2:30 or 1:30? Yeah, I think it is 2:30. So we're going to do something kind of fun before we fire this thing up here. We're actually going to recreate this flight. Now, not this particular destination departure, but Vietnam 1543, last November, they had a flap incident where there was some mistakes that went on, and I've been racking my brain trying to look through the data and what we know or that's publicly available about the incident and trying to see how because I don't even know how the airplane would react. It was such a weird situation that happened. Obviously, nothing happened. There was no crash. They continued on to their destination just fine. But we're going to try to recreate that here because I want to see it. I want to see what the airplane will do. Obviously, the Toliss is not a real Airbus A321, but its systems modeling is pretty darn good. So I would imagine it would get a very close replication of what happened. So we're going to do that. We're going to use and abuse this airplane. But let's go ahead and hop into the airplane. Let's get it fired up. And I'm going to do something straight away. We're going to come up here. We're going to go battery on. I know it's dark. Oops, I hit battery 2 instead of 1. We're going to turn the dome light on bright. We're going to turn ground power on right away. And we're going to start getting rid of some of these trucks because I do not like listening to these trucks. And we're going to have to do some volume adjustments as well. So let's bring up the control panel. What do we have outside that's so loud? Let's go ahead and get rid of catering. Let's just, you know what? Let's just hide all. Let's just get, I'm done with you guys. Like, oh my gosh, now I can think. Get those things out of here. I did reinstall the Pro Pack BSS A321Neo Pro Pack sounds, so we're going to be rocking those today. Not quite sure how it's going to be, but I'm going to turn. I feel like all my volume levels are messed up here. Okay, I got that set up. I'm going to turn down internal about 80%, and maybe even make it 70%. All right, hopefully we're going to rock that for now. Hopefully that's good. I apologize, guys, if you need something different. Hopefully you can let me know in the chat. But where our spoy brakes are, disarm that. We're already abusing this airplane. No worries, Jeremy. Not a problem, man. I did have some sounds messed up here because I reinstalled the sound pack. So let's go into our overhead flow, guys. Let's get this aircraft ready to go. We're going to go crew supply oxygen on, ground control on, so we can record everything. CVR test. Beep, beep. Okay, that's cool. Let's go ADIRS. 1, 2, 3. Wait for the extinguishing light. Happy New Year, Wojtek. Good to see you as well. Elite Finesse, hello, sir. I wish you a Happy New Year. I wish you the same. Elite, welcome to the channel, man. We're just getting ready. We're just getting fired up. It's going to be a fun one today. I think it's really going to be fun. We're going to go nav to position 1, seatbelts off, no smoking auto, arm the emergency exit lights, verify landing elevation. Okay, so this is something that just happened to me last week. This switch, in my career of flying the Airbus, I think I have seen it not in the auto position 2 times, and 1 time was in the sim. So in the real airplane, I've only seen this switch not in auto 1 time. Until last week, we picked up an airplane from maintenance. It just came out of a heavy check, and I was going through my flows, and I noticed everything was just in weird positions. Like the pack flow was low. These were all weird. Everything was just in a weird position. Normally, you have your more cold and dark shutdown states. Like the captain and PERS switch was actually up, which this is normally always down, at least here in the United States. But this is the importance of flows, and make sure you're actually doing and checking each flow, even though 99.9% of the time when I come up over this cabin pressurization panel, this switch is in auto. But that 1 time that it's not in auto, you got to make sure you actually catch it. So I saw it the other day. I was like, okay, that's not in auto. We'll go ahead and put that back in auto. But it was just kind of ironic now that we're sitting back here in the 321 on stream. It reminded me of that. So that's in auto. Pack flow, let's go norm for right now. I think that'll be fine. I think we're going to have plenty of passengers. Niels, I agree, man. I think it's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about it here as soon as I get the airplane loaded up. I'm going to go over the incident, and then I'm going to go over what we're going to do, and we'll kind of break it down. So here we go. We got fire 1, fire 2, and we'll do the APU fire test as well. That is good. We'll leave our fuel tanks off. Coming up the right-hand side, all lights out is what we're looking for here. We'll turn on the MCP3. We'll put you into VHF 1. I didn't even know you could switch from VHF 1 to 3 up here. That's interesting. PA should be out and on. That's good. And nothing else on the overhead. So our overhead panel is set. Let's come down here. Let's go down our center pedestal. Look at this. I got my air rack updated too, like a professional streamer, so we're good there. Everything else is good on this panel. Over here, we will check engines. We got oil, hydraulics. We are over-serviced, but I'd rather be over-serviced than under-serviced. Well, I don't know. I'd rather be in the green band, but that's close enough. Condition page, APU, and what am I looking for? There we go, door pays, oxygen. So this is new to the Neo. You'll have 2 oxygen bottles up here as well. So we'll go ahead and come down this side of the MCP. We'll turn on his radio. I keep saying MCP. Oh my gosh, it'll kill me in chat. A320 has 2 batteries? Yes, it does. Lots of flying in Asia. Yes, sir. We are on the Asia Pacific Tour. Brad Swag, been a minute. Good to see you, everyone. Hey, Brad, welcome to the channel, dude. And welcome back. It has been a minute. I see you have your first officer silver bars there, so you have been around quite a while. Welcome to the welcome back, sir. Good to see you here. All right. Last thing before we really start digging in, let me come here. Which sound is the recirc fans, because they are really loud. Okay, systems 1, we're going to turn you down to about 70%. Turn off blower and extract fans too. That's when you have to make a phone call. I mean, they're accurate, but it just seems extra loud. Anyway. All right. We have our McDo box. Let's pull up our Navigraph chart for DaNang to Bangkok, Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Where is our route of flight? So, initialization VVDN to VTBS, correct? Yes, it is. Victor Tango Bravo Sierra. 117 knot headwind, Camille. Whew, the winds have been wicked. Winds have been wicked last couple of days. All right, we are HVN 1543. Cost index 99, please. Cruise flight level 380 set. And according to our perf chart here, we have to make some adjustments to our tropopause is at 560, so I don't know. I thought I had an issue with this here. Oh, no, that works. 56, that looks good. And the temperature is actually minus 52, so we're going to change that negative 52 here for a cruise flight level. A little bit warmer. That way we have a little bit more accurate fuel burn calculation. Christopher Levin, welcome. What runway do I plan? Probably, let's look at the winds right now. Winds are 340 at 1. We'll take the inboard on the closest one. So what is that going to be? That will be 10.9 page here in DaNang. Bangkok? Thailand? Isn't Bangkok in Thailand? I don't know what I said, Niels. 35 right for departure, Christian. We're going to take 35 right out of here. All right, so our init page is set. We can go ahead and align on a ref, confirm the alignment. All right, here we go. Departure off of runway, I just said it, 35 right is what we're going to use for departure. It doesn't have a SID for us, but let's see if we can make one here. I don't know why Debrief didn't give me one. So off 35 right, we're going westbound, right? What is tropopause? Tropopause is important for long-range flights because the temperature increases with altitude in above the tropopause, so it can affect your performance numbers. That's why we care about it. But it's really not too much of a big deal. What's our flight plan first fix? Patno and Tana. I don't know. Oh, here's Tana. Maybe we can take one of these. Carta, 28 months. Look at that. Double captain bars. What is up, sir? Happy New Year's, Captain. Here's to a more normal year. Carta, I agree, man. And I hope for sure that you will have... Oh, my God, that scared me. I hope that you'll have a resolved Honeycomb Bravo yoke as well. But thank you for your support, Carta. Wow, that bank angle check scared the crap out of me. Bank angle checks in chat, please. Brian Rosner, what an absolute dono bomb. $50 dono. Thank you so much, sir. It has been such a great year of V1 content. I look forward to 2022 and learning more. Airbus has become my most used and liked plane in 2021. Well, Brian, first and foremost, thank you so much for your support. Secondly, I am very happy to hear that, and I hope that will continue into 2022. We're going to do a lot of Airbus stuff in 2022, my friend. A lot of Airbus stuff. So, glad you're enjoying it. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate that. All right, so we're going to take the Tana. One, does it have a Charlie? 1 Alpha. I guess it's 1 Alpha. Insert. Alta Tana. Perfect. After Tana, now we're going to go back here to our charts. Papra. Oh, look at that. It's almost like it was designed for it. Chris Levin, 15-month commercial pilot membership. Thank you so much, man, for the support. 15 months, man. Man, you guys are awesome. It says, one night in Bangkok and the world's your oyster. Not much between disparities. Christopher Levin, thank you so much for the support, man. I do appreciate that very much. Glad to have you around the channel, man. It's been quite the 15 months. I do appreciate you here. Thank you, sir. But yes, indeed. All right. PEK... BA, and then we're going to insert U, and we're going to keep going. XI, KMA, good thing I updated my nav database, and Lipley, LIPLI. Boom. All right. Insert that. Bangkok, I reckon, is in Thailand, if only because it's their capital. Yeah, that's what I thought. Paul says, I watched one of your older Flight Factor 350 streams. Do you still feel the same? Yeah, I haven't flown it since, man. I haven't flown it since. But is there an arrival? Oh, you're taking the Easted 3? Let's see here. Arrival. Let's land north. I don't know. We'll do 1 9 left to Zulu. East 3 Charlie. Let's just do that. We'll figure it out when we get there. Let's go ahead and pull this out, go plan mode. Let's see what damage we've done here. All right, there's our departure. Oh, that actually looks like it'll work. We'll clear that disco out. And then let me see that range. Let me zoom it out a little bit. That's a little bit far. Lipley. Hey, that'll work just fine. They got one of those rectangular patterns to come back in, but cool. Flight plan is in the box. Is this the incident with the flaps instead of gear? Yes, it is. That is indeed what we're going to. Recreate today, sir. All right, flight plan is done. Secondary, quick initialization here. VVND to VVND. Oh no, DN. I believe these are the BSS. What do they call it? BSS McDo sounds. ILS 35 right Zulu insert secondary perf. Remember the one time that we don't do it, it'll bite us. Temperature is 2-3 outside. I don't want any wind performance. It's basically calm anyway. And QNH according to Sky, active Sky is 1021. 1021 is set. We'll do 200 in the DH in the radio mins. All right, cool. Rad nav, nothing to hard tune. Progress page, where we go on? VVDN35 right is what we need here. And then perf data, this is where we are going to be loading up our init B. So, clear that out. Clear that out. Loading performance, let's go ahead and fill this puppy up. We don't need all this forward cargo or aft cargo. We're going to reset that. We're going to take a full load of people. Forward cargo about 4,400, maybe 1,600, 1,800 in the aft cargo. That looks good. And our fuel that we need for this flight is right here. I've got it highlighted. Gate fuel of 11,300. So let's take, you know what? Let's take a little bit extra so we can simulate a little bit heavier weight. We'll go ahead and do a quick refuel. Apply those. That gives us a final 164.0. and a CG of 25.7. Set. Block fuel 13 nothing. It's going to give us a little extra gas. Perfect. What do you think, flaps 2 yoga or flaps 1? We're going to do flaps 1 yoga. Okay, we're going to do a flaps 1 yoga, and I've got reasons for that, which we'll discuss here in a minute. So let's load this up here. We're going to do 151 now because I don't have the exact load data from that aircraft. I don't know what their weights were. I don't know what else they had going on. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. What is the transition? Is it 8,000 here? I think it's 8,000. We'll put 8. No harm, no foul. Flaps 1, and our THS has to be set now. Remember that. Up 0.5. Throw that in there, and flex temp of nothing. Okay, so our box is pretty much set up, and it's getting nice and bright out here. Let's go ahead and fire up the APU. We got our fuel on board. Seatbelts can come on. Fuel is on board and balanced. Yeah, Jeremy, I agree. The McDo sounds are a little weird. All right, we're back on it. Sorry, I had to mute my mic there for a second. Back that. Nav. And here we go. Fire it up. Getting ready to get out of here. Ooh, the sun is rising. Close up some doors while we're here. Do I do exactly the same preparations in the real plane? Very close. Very close, very close. Ivan, what's up, man? Happy New Year's Eve to you, sir. It's really dark in that flight deck. I know, it's getting brighter. It's getting brighter. We'll go APU bleed on, external power disconnect. And we'll pull the ground power here. Pull the chocks. Everything's coming to life. I think these are functional now, aren't they? Yes, they are. That's cool. Alright, we need our airport page 10.9. I think we're just about ready to go. Let's go ahead and close up that cabin door and get the trucks out here.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
We are going to come back all the way at an angle. How's that?
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, before we start, checklist. After I close this door. Windows, doors, and slides. Closed, they're not armed. They should be closed and armed. Beacon, on. Thrust levers, idle. Parking brake is on for now. Transponder is TARA for VATSIM. For start, checklist complete. Here comes the tug. Alright, let's discuss what we're going to do here on departure. So what happened, I had to make a note here because I had to kind of summarize exactly what happened, and then we're going to try to do it in the airplane, but it's going to be kind of weird without two crew members. I should have recruited Phantom for this, but what happened was apparently there is some type of MEL that Vietnam Airlines
all doors
has.
and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
I'm going to turn down the radio. I think that's why he's so loud. So there is an MEL apparently that I could not find. I have been digging through my MEL book all morning long. As a matter of fact, I almost delayed the stream because I was looking for it. I went through a couple hundred pages. They said there's some type of minimum equipment list or something broken that what would happen is it would require the landing gear to be retracted 1 minute after departure. Now, I have looked extensively through this. Somebody online said it was a brake MEL. All my brake MELs that I have gone over do not mention anything about takeoff. In fact, the only thing that is...
inserted. Release parking brake.
We're going to stand by on the pushback here until I can finish this. The only thing that I found as far as brakes that would be limiting is after landing. So it actually slows an airplane down a lot in a sequence of flights. And I've had this MEL in real life where you have some type of brake indicator that is out, brake temperature indicator. So after landing, you have to take into account certain factors, environmental and all that stuff. And there's a table that you actually follow, and it says if you landed at this weight or at this temperature or this way, you have to wait this long on the ground for the brakes to cool. That way it is adequate for the next departure. There's another MEL that I found that says you have to do the takeoff config push button again right before departure to make sure your brake temps aren't over 300 degrees Celsius. So I don't know. I'm not saying there wasn't an MEL that requires the gear not to be extended until 1 minute after departure, but I have not found it. And all Airbuses, there's a lot of differences that happen among Airbus all the way through, different operators and different options. So I'm not saying they didn't have one, but I'm saying that as far as my operator here in the U.S., and we have new fleet of airplanes, I could not find this MEL. It's very possible that I skipped over it, but I would imagine there is something that made them keep the gear down all the way up to 210 knots. It was beyond my explanation of why they wouldn't have retracted the gear sooner other than having something telling them that they can't. So if somebody knows what the MEL is, let me know, because I would like to try to find it and see if it's in our books. But maybe we have different equipment, maybe a different mod, whatever. Nevertheless, the aircraft took off, flaps 1, they were at 210 knots. The captain requested the landing gear be raised. The FO deployed flaps 3. At flaps 3, you're going to get an overspeed warning. The captain disconnected the autopilot and pitched up, and they were climbing through about 3,500 feet with the speed reducing to around 170 knots. At that point, you've now remedied the overspeed situation. However, the captain, without commanding it, and did it himself, which is a no-no, you're really supposed to command. If you're flying, you've got to command an action. He then retracted flaps to 0. So picture this. You're pitched up because you're overspeeding. You've reduced your speed now to 170 knots. You've got a much higher AOA, And now you go from flaps 3 to flaps 0. So at flap 0, the aircraft is going to start going into its protections. Now, because the criteria for alpha floor is not met, and I'd have to dig through this, I think it's because the gear is still down at this point. There was no alpha floor protection. So what would happen, I assume, this is all me assuming, we're going to test this in the sim here, I assume that the aircraft speed tape started coming up, that VLS came up very, very quick to the aircraft, and the only way that, I mean, you don't stall it, is either the protections kick in and it inhibits the aft stick, because you're still in normal law at this point. It's going to automatically reduce the AOA. The captain at this point reduced the AOA manually with his side stick as well, but he also induced a roll to the right to comply with the departure procedure, which is another, in my opinion, no-no, because now you're slow, you're below VLS, you're not stalling, but you're very close, and now you're introducing a roll. Not a good situation for killing your vertical component of lift there by introducing into a bank. At some point, they raised the gear during the sequence. I don't know at which point they did, but at some point they did, so we're just going to have to mimic that. He re-extended flaps to 1, they leveled off at 2,500 feet, and then they continued on without incident. So it sounds like a lot, but we're going to have to see what happened here in the Toliss. I'm very curious to see what it was like in the flight deck. That's what we're going to imitate today. So brakes release, you're clear to push, sir.
Starting pushback.
XP72, what is up, man? Happy New Year to you, sir. Thank you for teaching us this year. He said XP. Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for hanging out, being around the chat. And I love seeing your streams, man. I watch your streams almost every time I'm on an overnight, man. There's nothing good on TV anymore. I'm almost always, and even if there was, I'd probably still watch your streams. But almost every night I'm on an overnight, man. I'm tuning into you, seeing where you're flying. I saw you had a nice landing today in Miami. Very nicely done, sir. But Happy New Year to you as well, XP. And I hope 2022 brings you some more real-world flying, perhaps. You know, maybe some more 172 flying. But Happy New Year to you, man. Is it true that the EPU on the Airbus needs 3 minutes to warm before turning on the EPU? It is a recommendation, Aviation 24. Yes, it is a recommendation. Shaquille O'Neal, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. We're just getting caught back up in the chat now. Robert S., what's up, man? Good to see you. Dorn Aurora, Happy New Year. Welcome. Welcome. Mrs. Jungles, welcome to the chat. Good to see you here as well. My condolences to your recent situation. I talked to Mr. Jungles for a little bit. I hope you guys are finding peace in your hearts. That's a tough situation. Nobody wants to go through. But our thoughts and prayers are with you, Jungles family. Look at those HVNs taxiing out. We should probably tune into the Unicom. 22.8 is on board. We're turning it up. Do I have mic bound? I do not have mic bound. Let me go ahead and bind that right now. DaNang traffic, good morning. Vietnam 1543, we're pushing backs from gate 12, going to 35 right. Dreamlist, what's up, man? Glad you're streaming today? Well, I'm glad too. I'm sorry we couldn't work out the New Year's Eve bash that we like to do, but it's just I didn't want to be at the office past midnight. I'm like, I'd rather be home. We're gonna set 15,000 here. Let's see, what do we have on this SID in particular? I think it's actually above that. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and just set. We're gonna set 20 for now. Then we'll worry about it later. I am running the latest version. Yes, I am. 148 watching, 58 likes. Smash that like button. Bank angle check. Yes, the bank angle check emojis are going to need to be going strong today. I'm going to need maximum bank angle checks here as we try to crash this thing on departure. I totally understand, Miss Jungles. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you have a wonderful New Year's Eve and New Year's. I guess the benefit for Boeing has gates for flaps. You can't go straight to flaps 30. Can you not just hold it up? That's one thing I don't know. I don't know if you can actually, like, because I know in the Airbus has gates too. The actual one, there is gates. You have to lift and pull the trigger. I would imagine you can kind of lift the Boeing the same way.
Brake.
I don't know. Brake set, clear to disconnect. We're starting engine 1.
Tow, stand by.
All right, everything is configured up top. Did I turn the beacon light on? I did. Okay. Here we go. Let's go ahead and start engine 1. Bleed pressure. Enjoy the startup. BSS sounds. Carta engine mod. I'm going to be quiet.
SO is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Roger, we'll see you next time. I forgot to do the dual cooling on this one. Oops. There's bus transfer, and there it is, avail. Turn to 2. Got a 30-second cooling period here. PTU is running when you don't do a dual cool.
DaNang traffic, Vietnam's 176 via Echo 8, lining up 35 right.
Man, those Carta engines just looking juicy. Folscraft, me too, man. That's why I'm streaming at 12:30. Welcome. Glad to have you on board, man. Pretty quiet. Man, if Boris made us, if Boris Hotshot made the 321Neo sounds for expert, I think it would be awesome.
Vietnam 176 taking off 35 right, DaNang.
All right, he's taking off. We got a good start. You should be able to see him down there. He's going to start rolling here momentarily. That goes there. We're going to go flaps 1, it's like we said. And he's rolling. Who let the dogs out? You got it, XP. Alright, here is that one Vietnam. F-star checklist engine ice is off. Yellow pumps off. Rotor trim 0. F-star checklist is complete. We'll watch him depart, and then we are going to taxi out. Hopefully this guy starts moving. There goes Fort George. Nice done, man. All right, he's rolling. Taxi light is coming on. Brakes released. Cinematic taxi view. Or drive-by view. Here we go.
DaNang traffic, this is Neo. Taxi into runway 35 right via Echo. Neo 197.
I do love the drive-by sounds. Do love the drive-by sounds. Oh.
Vietnam 176, climbing through 3,100 on the Tana 2. Last call, DaNang.
I'm going to turn down that radio a little bit.
DaNang traffic, Vietnam 1549, takeoff, check.
Where are we going? We're taking, what is this? Echo to Echo. We're going to go full length at Echo. DaNang traffic, Vietnam 1543, taxi into 35 right, full length behind the Airbus. Are you rocking X Enviro? No, sir. I am rocking exclamation point Sky. And I've changed my, I normally always run my tiller on the yoke axis, but because I'm the microphone, I got to come up with a different microphone solution. I'm running my nose wheel steering on my rudder pedals. So this will be interesting. Somebody still needs to come up with a tiller. There's been a few tiller mentions in the Discord. Look at that, Vietnam taking off. That's awesome. But I haven't been able to get any price or anything on that, so we'll see. I'm still looking for another tiller option. I think it would be a welcomed add-on because every airliner taxis with a tiller. So whether you fly Airbus, Boeing, McDonnell Douglas, you're going to need a tiller. Just as important as I wouldn't say as important as a yoke, but it's up there. Hand cam is on, yes sir. Single engine taxi, please, for next time. Yeah, next time we can do it. Next time we can do it. I know somebody asked earlier, I don't know where the chat message went, but you were asking about the APU bleed, or starting the APU. Yes, before there was a requirement you waited for the flap open message, and I still do personally, but depending on which type of APU, there are two different APUs available for the Airbus. Depending which type of APU you're fitted with and the software load that you have, it will prohibit the start until the self-test is complete. I haven't got a definitive answer though, if it will still give you a low oil ECAM. I don't think it will. So that's why I still personally wait till the low oil, or I'm sorry, till the flap open message is illuminated. We also have multiple different APUs on our fleet too, so there's we have both options of APUs. I'm not sure which one requires the flap open, or which one used to require the flap open, but I still wait. Like anything with Airbus, you know, it changes along the way, so there's been a lot of changes along the way. Let's do a flight control check. Full up. Oh, we got to do our trim real quick. We did 0.5 up, right? Yeah. Here we go. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right. The neutral rudders, we're not going to check them because I got them on my nose wheel steering now. That is good. So I'll go ahead and ding the forward cabin. I'm going to go auto brakes max, takeoff config checked, PWS on, and auto. We are in TARA. Cabin is ready to roll. A 100 likes before takeoff. Can we do it? That would be pretty sweet. We got 194 watching me do S-turns down the taxiway here. Uh-oh. I thought I just like closed my stream down. Nope, we're good. Do another drive-by. I guess we don't need takeoff and landing cam just yet. We'll go back to regular. Howdy, howdy, Orlando Mitch. Welcome, sir. Welcome. Shaquille O'Neal, that would be sweet. A de-ice truck. Oh yeah, listen to that juice. Shaquille O'Neal, I totally agree. Why don't we have a de-ice truck? That would be sweet. I totally agree with you, sir. I know FS Labs and P3, well, not just FS Labs, but I know P3D does it. Can you get Airbus-style reversers on the honeycomb throttle? I don't believe so. I mean, they have the Airbus type. They have the Airbus add-on where you have the lift gates, that actually you have to lift them to go back, but on the Bravo throttle, it's all detents. There's no axis below the detent, so I pop the reversers, which basically puts me into idle reverse, and then if I move them down, I go to full reverse, which I totally am okay with, because in the real airplane, I'm either using idle reverse or I'm using full reverse. I don't think I've ever really stopped in the middle. That's the BSS. It is the BSS pack, Alex5150. It is indeed the BSS pack. All right, we're going to have to hold short here because I got to mentally go over how we're going to destroy this departure again on purpose. So if you're tuning in now, which I know we have a couple of new viewers here, I am not going to be taking this airplane off normally. We are going to recreate an incident that happened to VN Airlines 1543. We'll sit here and watch this gentleman depart. We're going to recreate what happened, and essentially what started it all was the extension of the flaps, which caused the overspeed warning at 210 knots. So we're intentionally going to abuse this airplane. I just want to see from my own knowledge, really, like, how did this go down? So we're going to figure it out. Exactly, Brady. Southwest taxi all the way. Do I recommend the Thrustmaster Airbus throttle and side stick? Michael Foster, I made a review video on it before. I currently don't use the Thrustmaster TCA stuff anymore, personally, because I like the range of motion on the Bravo. That was my big switch over. And as far as the TCA stick, I went over to the FSprojects, which uses a Thrustmaster base, the Thrustmaster Warthog base, but I just found it a little bit more appealing for my style of simming. But remember, the stick that I'm using is 100% realistic to the real airplane, so I don't have any additional hat switches or anything, which a lot of people I know need. So I literally only have 2 buttons on my side stick now, so it's not for everybody, but the link ! stick if you want to check out the setup that I'm using. All right, he's out of there. Here we go. We're going to line up and wait, and then we are going to talk about it. So, DaNang traffic, Vietnam 1543, I'll line up and wait on 35, right, DaNang. We're going to extend those. We're not going to turn them on. Brakes released. Can we do a cinematic drive on here? Joe J, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yes, it is, Ish Gracer. It is. When GSX releases the stuff from Microsoft, we'll get de-icing? Yeah. Could you imagine de-icing like in the PMDG 7.3 or Phoenix or Fly-by-Wire? I feel like my nose wheel steering, yeah, it's working. Alright, how was that lineup? We were pretty far off. Let's get this straight because we actually want to be semi-realistic here. Alright, takeoff and landing cam is online. He is on the departure. So here we go. We are going to take off. We're going to leave the gear down until reaching 210 knots, and then we're going to extend flaps 3, and we're going to cause a bunch of issues here. So I don't know how this is going to happen or how this is going to go down, but we're just trying to emulate an incident, and I want to know for my own knowledge. So are you guys ready? Let's go ahead and light it up. DaNang traffic, Vietnam 1543, departing 35, right, DaNang. Lights are on. We're going Toga, flaps 1. Here we go. Yoga's in chat. Yoga's in chat. Spool it up 50. Yoga. Ooh. Loving that. Nose forward on the stick. Oh my gosh, my rudder pedals. Man, Toga SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue. 80 knots, thrust set, 100 knots, check. V1, rotate. Positive rate. Do not retract the gear. Nav. I gotta turn my notepad on here. Alright, so we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the autopilot on for this because they turn the autopilot on right after departure. So we're man Toga, SRS, nav, autopilot 1. Okay. Thrust, climb, climb, auto thrust. I'm going to select speed 210 knots. And open climb. So we still have to take a while to get to 210 knots with the gear down here. Okay, so approaching 210 knots. The captain commanded flaps 0. Or no, he commanded landing gear up. So landing gear up, and then the FO came over here and went flaps 3. Okay, that's not good. Autopilot off. Began to pitch up until we get through 170 knots. Then I'm still going straight, I guess. Okay, so now he's like, oh my gosh, what did you do? Alright, flap 0. And start the turn. Now we're in VLS. Speed, this is a call out. Speed, speed, speed. So now you gotta lower that nose, get the nose down. Goodness. I assume he then went back to flaps 1. Look at the air, like we're essentially stalling now. I mean, we're max, almost at max. Anyway, there we go. Now we're out of the VLS. We're in the turn. Back to flaps 1. Let's just go push to level off. Give me the bird. I want gear up. Wow. I don't know, guys. Direct. Let's go direct Hana. We're gonna debrief this. Autopilot 1. Manage. Let's open climb. Oh, we're still on FPA track. There we go. Vertical speed 0. I want to go nav. Open climb. Thrust climb. Open climb. Speed checks. Flap 0. Have to take off checklist. What were they doing? Alright, let's continue to fly this departure here. Like, status is normal, clear status. I wish I could see a profile view. Kind of see it there. Alright, we're climbing out, everything's normal. Wow. Alright. I don't know how that happened, guys. I really don't. Let's turn this down. And let's do... What am I missing here? We need our flight directors back online here. Gear is up. I'm in the recovered process now. So we're 250. Thrust climb, open climb, nav. 1 FD2 in the FMA. So my FMA is correct. We're going direct Tana. Let's just go ahead and just go direct Papra. There we go, so we don't have to make that weird turn all the way around. We're direct Papra. Let's do a flyby view. And... Alright, so I'm going to turn this down because I need to think about what I'm about to talk about now. So that's what they did, guys. They literally... Okay, so here's the... I'm going to pull it up. Dark says, I don't know how this happened in real life. They said they asked to level off at 2,500. You got 210 after that. Yeah, so I think what happened is they were probably... I'd have to look at their departure procedure. Maybe they might have even been heavier. I don't know. Standard is set. STDs 1, 2, and 3 were linked up. We're going through 10. Let's kill the lights. I have several issues with that recovery. I mean, obviously, you could see the airplane handled it very well. The VLS did come up. The Tiger Tail came up and got us. The autopilot, I believe, was disconnected manually by the captain, which was accurate, and the Toliss did that correctly because we were overspeeding with the flap extended, but we weren't past the point of where the autopilot would disconnect. So he manually disconnected. I think the Toliss flew that very, very well. My problem is, okay, I understand you got to keep the gear down for an MEL, which I still haven't been able to find, and I've been looking for it all morning. I don't know why that's even on there, because what if you're taking off into terrain? You got to be able to bring the gear up. I don't know. I have questions about the MEL, if it was even there or not. But regardless, they took off. They're 210 knots. Why were they at 210 knots? The landing gear retraction speed on the Airbus is 210 knots. So while you could go to 250 with the gear down, you'd have to slow back to 210 to retract the gear. So I don't know. So I agree with staying at 210 knots. My S speed was still above 210. So that tells me that they were probably, they must have been significantly heavy. I would assume, I don't know, or I'm sorry, they must have been lighter than we were. They must have been a little bit lighter, I guess, and that's why they brought up the flaps so early. But it hurts my brain to think about this. But whatever. They took off. He went flaps 3, overspeed. There was a correct reaction by the captain. He turned the autopilot off and pitched the airplane up. That is 100% correct. That's the way that I would probably, or at least hopefully, handle that type of debacle. You got to slow down, right? So let's go ahead and get the airplane. Let's use your energy management, right? Pitch up, get it slowing down. Don't want to rip the flaps off. Now, where the really started to fall apart is once he pitched up and was at 170, you've already remedied the situation, right? You're back under speed. You had a momentary overspeed, whatever. Let's clean up the airplane. Let's go ahead and get the gear up, command gear up again, and then we can continue to fly this airplane. But instead, he reached over here and instinctively just went from 3 to 0. That's a big problem because, number one, you should be commanding that. And if you were to command that, perhaps the FO would have been like, wait, you want me to go to 0 on the flaps again? Why is there might have been a block, but it didn't happen. They went straight to 0. This is where the airplane starts to get in a dangerous situation because you're at flap 0. Now you've reduced the lift capabilities of the wing. You're at a high angle of attack. And then he commenced a roll to comply with the SID. If you're in a potential stalling situation or you're inside a VLS, the last thing you want to do is roll the aircraft. If you roll the aircraft, you are killing your horizontal component of lift, and you're actually making the situation potentially worse. So those are two actions that makes me scratch my head. After that, it seems like they did the right thing. They pushed the level off at 2,500 feet. And then I think, the captain, he noticed his mistake. He immediately went from flaps 3 to 0, saw the VLS come up, then extended flaps 1 again to go ahead and get the speed tape back down. And then they just continued to clear it up from there. But I got to tell you guys, I don't want to armchair. I'm not trying to armchair the whole situation or Monday morning quarterback what happened on that flight because it's such a weird situation to even think about happening. Why would your FO go from gear up to extending flaps 3? I don't know. You have a startle factor. You have human factors playing into this incident. But there's some basic airmanship. I don't even like saying that, but there are some basic airmanship principles that should be at the forefront of the pilot in command of that airplane, which would trigger your brain not to go flaps 0 after you've already slowed down and to increase a roll while you're already low level. This happened they leveled off at 2,500 feet. They're not that high off the ground. So it's a mystery to me. My brain still hurts. I don't know if this helped me get any more clarity on what actually happened. I would love to see an NTSB representation of this whole situation. XP, you do bring up a good point. He didn't trust the FO at that point. You do bring up a very good human factor element there, XP, which is you've now lost trust with your first officer because he went flaps 3 instead of gear up. That is a very good point that you make, and I'm thinking, what would I have done? Like, if my FO did that to me, you know what? I probably would do the same thing. Now that I think about it, I'd have a hard time asking him to do something else in that critical moment because I know I've already lost him. His head's not in the game. So you're absolutely right. So maybe that's what was going on with the captain's mentality to go flaps 3. Go flaps 0. I would have gone maybe flaps 2 or flaps 1. Going from 3 to 0 is pretty extreme, but in the moment, I guess that's all. This is a huge human factors case. You could dissect. I would love to hear the cockpit voice recorder from the gate, like all the way from the gate to what happened. I want to hear the communication between the crew members. I want to hear what they were talking about. How were they acting with each other? Was there a hierarchy? We call that the cockpit gradient. So especially in the Asian theater, flying airplanes has a very steep cockpit gradient. What that means is, for the longest time, the captain was looked at as, I am the captain, I am the almighty, no one does anything against what I say, and there's no questioning me, and it's a very steep gradient. So you have a captain up here, and then you have your lonely FO down here. This was an incident for many, many crashes amongst many airlines, not just in the Asian theater, but I think it stayed there the longest. It was in the U.S. as well, but I think we've done a good job now, at least in modern day training, where we try to level that cockpit gradient. So you have a captain here and an FO here. You guys are trained the same. You guys are typed on the same airplane. The only difference between the captain and the first officer is he got hired before you. Okay, he has a higher longevity at the airline. That is why he is a captain. Now, that may not always be the case, but that's the most general reason why he's a captain. He's got the seniority to hold a captain slot. Now, like I said, not 100% of the time, but it is most of the time. So you want to have open communication between crew members. You want to be able to, let's go ahead and climb all the way to 38. You want to be able to trust each other. You want to be able to have an open mind, and I want my first officer to question me if I'm about to do something that is not correct, or maybe it's it just brings up a question. I want him to question me because he might have a very valid point that could save the airplane from going into a potentially dangerous situation. So it's that's a tough one. I think the Toliss did a fantastic job. It didn't trigger Alpha 4 because the gear's down, I think. I'd have to go in my books. I'm 99% sure that that's the reason why Alpha 4 wouldn't trigger. What am I using for the clouds? Exclamation point sky. There's been cases in which Asian FOs tend to avoid questioning captains. Ivan, you're absolutely right. And I'm aware of this, and I know, that's... I actually taught, when I taught Asiana, geez, good think of it, Asiana Airlines students.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Bank angle check. Oh man, but yes, Ivan, you're absolutely right. Got a couple donos that came at the same time. JLong8986, thank you so much for the super chat, sir. $5. This is very informative. Will you be doing more scenarios like this in the future? JLong, I probably will. I enjoy this part of aviation. I enjoy studying human factors elements. I enjoy breaking down situations that may have had a serious impact, because I feel like that's how you get better. I mean, the rules, the Navy has a saying that, what is it? The Navy SOPs are written in blood. like everything you do in the Navy is literally because someone has died not doing it. So they write the rules. And aviation is very similar in that aspect. You know, we've learned from a lot of loss of life and a lot of tragic accidents and how we do things in aviation as a whole. So I think whenever there's scenarios like this, I enjoy learning about them because I think it makes us better pilots and it makes us more aware and it helps us avoid them in the future. But thank you, Jaylong, for your $5. I appreciate it. Christian coming in with the $20 bomb. Thank you so much, dude, for the bank angle check donation. He says, Happy New Year's, buddy. Wish you good health for you and your family and all the best for the coming year. Have a drink in my dad's memory, as it's been exactly 1 year since he passed. And to everyone in chat, I wish you a Happy New Year too. Well, Christian, here's to your dad, sir. That's tough. I'm very sorry to hear that. 1 year since his passing. I hope you're doing well. And it's losing a parent is never easy, man. I lost my dad, what is it, 2 years ago now? Almost the same time. I think it was in February. So I'm very sorry to hear that, Christian. But thank you for your support, man. I enjoy your company. I enjoy speaking to you in the Discord after streams on the debriefs, and I love having you around, man. Thank you so much for that support. Here's to 2022 and a Happy New Year to you as well, man. Thank you. Did the pilot get canned, Michael Foster? I don't know. So I don't know what happened to the crew. I don't know if there was remedial training, or I don't know what was the end result. I'm still trying to find that information out. Jeremy, going back in the chat, the airplane should have called speed. I didn't hear it. I think, Jeremy, that speed command would come on as in V alpha prot. I'd have to check out, but when I said speed, that's a call out, a standard Airbus call out that the first officer should have said, or even the pilot flying. If you say, hey, oh, speed, when you see that VLS, now we can't see it here because we're well above it, but the VLS is that single amber line. V alpha prot is when it's the tiger tail. So when it looks like this, but it's black and yellow, this is when I believe that speed command is going to start going out on departure. So I don't know if they actually got slow enough for the speed. I would guess that they did.
Bank angle. Bank angle check. Bank angle.
Bank angle check. Thank you so much for that. Captain Geo, $2 tip. Happy New Year, brother. Bank angle check. Yes, sir. Bank angle check right back at you. Happy New Year, man. Thank you so much for your support. Appreciate that. But yeah, Jeremy, that's why I want to hear. I want to hear the whole CVR. I think there would be some questions answered. It would be a lot more answered if we got to hear the whole CVR, got to hear what happened, were there proper call-outs. I mean, it was a big cluster. It literally was just a cluster that went down. So, gosh, I can't imagine the startle though that the captain would have had if you're just climbing out. You go flaps 0, you go gear up. I mean, how do you go from gear up to flaps 3? I don't know how that happens. The FO just was not mentally there, I guess. Matthew, well, thank you, man. Welcome to the stream, dude. Appreciate it. Speaking about human factor, I think that captain was angry and slammed the flap handle. I bet he did. I bet he did. Captain Thompson, I hope the pilot doesn't get canned, to be honest. Creates a whack safety culture of things that won't go report. Instead, hopefully he receives extra training. So, Tom, I don't know how it is in that theater of operation. I would imagine it's a little bit more strict. But in the U.S., he probably would not get canned. There would be some training. But I agree with you. There is, sorry guys, my phone's going off. You don't want to set a precedent of if you make a mistake and then you're automatically fired, because if you can learn from that mistake and teach that mistake to other people who haven't made it yet, you've now are able to mitigate that in future flights. So you have a very valid point, sir. Top of Climb, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Happy New Year's to you, sir. Drone, what is an SLS approach? Is it the same as a FMS local SLS? I believe that, is that a I'd have to look. I haven't done any SLS approaches. FLS is comes with FMS2. Now, the Neo can do it. An SLS, I wonder if it's a non-precision version of an FLS. I don't know. I'd have to look, man. Maybe the FO is dyslexic and he didn't know it. I don't think being dyslexic would... that's not... I don't know if dyslexia goes from gear to flaps. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know, man. That's they're totally two different positions in the cockpit. Like, they're not even... Like, I could understand if he said flap 0 and he went flaps 3. That, to me, would be dyslexic, right? You know, you confused something, you made something bad. And I could see that. You know, as weird as it sounds, I could see that happening. Maybe they just haven't flown in a really, really long time and something confused them. I don't know. But to go from a gear up command to reaching the flap handle, mentally, I just don't think you're there. You're not mentally in the moment, which takeoff and climb is a critical phase of flight, takeoff in particular, and all the way through your acceleration altitude. That is a whole critical phase of flight. You need to be in the cockpit. You need to be watching your airplane. You need to be understanding what's happening around you. And to reach for the flap handle instead of the gear handle, I don't think you're mentally there, because that FO should have been mentally thinking, okay, it's been 1 minute. He's going to call for the gear up now. I'm going to move the gear up. Instead, he wasn't. So, who knows? About flaps, I asked about why sometimes Airbuses park with flaps 1 on hot days. Can you explain why? I know it has something to do with possible fire detection. Yes, it has to do with a wing. Is it the wing bleed leak detection? So on the slats, under the slats here, you want to keep your slats out. The whole reason you do flaps 1 is for the slats to be out, because it can get hot and you can trigger a bleed leak ECAM, and you can't defer that. Or wing leak ECAM, I believe. Or bleed leak wing left or right, I believe is what the ECAM would say. And you can trigger that on a very hot day if you keep the slats tucked in. So that's why the slats and position flaps 1, you want to keep them out when you park in 35C. It used to be 40C, then it was 35C, and I think some airlines are 30C. But regardless, when it's hot, you'll probably see Airbuses with the flaps out. That could depend on the mod and the type of wing and any type of additions that that particular fleet has. Satellite system approach. So it sounds like it's a FMS based, or it's a non-precision FMS FLS approach. I've done a whopping 2 FLS approaches in my career. And I did them in the sim a couple weeks ago when we were messing around with our FMS2 update. Maybe that's the danger of doing things by feel instead of looking at it first, because I make mistakes by just touching things without looking. That's a good point, Jeremy. And that goes back to kind of studying whenever you're learning a new airplane and we have cockpit flows, you want to both touch and look at the switch. And very much so, you want to find it with your eyes first, because you don't just want to go about the cockpit touching random items. You want to make sure that you are going to the right item. So I always taught when I would teach, and I was also taught, this was the first method that I was taught, is when you're learning your flows, find it with your eyes first and then touch it, because you don't just want to have your hand up there, paused, looking for something, or you're touching the wrong thing. So find it with your eyes and then touch it. And that's good for any of you guys in training or learning any type of system with multiple motor skill requirements, where you got to move multiple knobs or touch multiple switches. If you're learning that, find it with your eyes first and then put your hand on it. Seems weird the FO didn't notice and froze up. So that freeze, Paul, thank you for 18-month membership as well, Paul. It's weird that he didn't notice, yes, but from that point, freezing up is something that's very viable and I can understand. You're going from a very normal situation, which you've done hundreds of times in your career, time and time again, to an absolute out of whack, abnormal situation, low to the ground, that some people freeze. That's just the nature of the human brain. Is in certain situations, everybody reacts differently, and freezing is a very common reaction. Is the final report out for this? I don't think so, Christian. At least I haven't seen one published anywhere. If you find one, let me know. Chris says, during the snow delay, when I had to spend the entire night at Helsinki, I saw that all the parked planes had their nav lights on through the night. Seems strange since it would probably cost a bunch. I don't know how much they cost. I'm sure they're expensive, but the nav light is probably on because they're connected to like a ground power or a maintenance service bus, which we've talked a little bit about on this channel. And I don't know why they don't shut them off. Maybe they're required to for their airline SOP. But a fun fact is, and this was on my last flight too, on the LED nav light system of an aircraft, or at least on the Airbus anyway. If you're doing your walk around, and the FO noticed this on one of my previous flights this month too, he came up saying, have you ever seen this? I'm like, yeah, that means this. So we have LED light indicators if they're about to burn out. So below the nav light, there'll be this little blue beacon. For all intents and purposes, it's a little beacon. It just starts flashing. It's a little blue light that starts flashing, and that means that this nav bulb is about to burn out. So if you're ever on a walk around, I feel like we moved really rapidly. If you're ever on a walk around and you see a little blue light under the nav light, that means that bulb is about to burn out. Could this be a language issue? Is it possible two commands sound similar in Vietnamese? SK Sun, that's another very valid point, and I don't know. That would be why, like I said, I'd love to hear the cockpit voice recorder, and I want to hear the commands. Were they speaking in English? Were they speaking in Vietnamese? Or is there a confusion between which language they were speaking? That's another very valid point. I'm only kind of observing from the outside looking in, and I don't have all of the information, so I don't want to make any judgments other than I can't believe that happened. But as with most emergencies, you can't believe it happening until it happens. Although it wasn't really an emergency, they recovered the aircraft just fine, but I bet the rest of that flight was interesting. Jeremy says, finding something with my eyes first is a hard habit to get into. I do so many things by feel because I'm almost blind. Jeremy, I mean, I can understand there's definitely limitations with that. But see, I guarantee you have a heightened sense of touch. So you can definitely feel things better, and you can communicate with your sense of touch better than somebody who is using more of a vision to find something and then touch it. So that's just in nature. I'm sure you have a much higher or heightened sense of touch, and you can visualize maybe in your mind what something looks like just by feeling it much quicker than somebody else. So you've got that going for you, man. I tell you what though, Jeremy, your music still is absolutely fantastic, man. I mean, that countdown song is just unreal. It's so good. Just what's up, man? What's up? I've always lived well on the SSG 748. If you want to check it out, go to the filter. Cool. Same scene at Indy on Thanksgiving. Entire FedEx fleet was home to roost with their nav. I think that's a FedEx thing because I've seen that many times, Chris. Yeah, I would imagine FedEx has some type of SOP for keeping their lights on all the time. That's on Neos or all A320. Christian, it's on all Airbuses that have the LED nav light kit, which I'm pretty sure they're probably all. I guess I wouldn't say all, but I know all the Neos definitely do. But any nav light that's now an LED, which I'm pretty sure they all are, I think they're all LEDs. I'm sure there's some Airbus somewhere that aren't running LEDs, but if it's an LED bulb, it's on there. Oh, Team Vodka. You found a pillow in your fridge once? That's interesting. A little too much vodka probably, man. A little too much vodka. See, Jeremy, yeah, your hearing is incredibly sensitive for that reason. Yes, sir. That's pretty good. A pillow in a fridge, though. Jeez. Doran, you got it, man. Look at this. Looks like we're traveling along a frontal boundary. Look at this. This is so cool. I've seen this in real life multiple times. Matter of fact, I almost took a picture of it. We're literally traveling along, looks like a frontal boundary layer there. See how straight this line of clouds are? Let me pull it back to sky and see what we got going on here in the map mode. What type of weather we're dealing with. Should be pretty good all the way to our destination, I'd imagine. How are we looking here? VTBS. Oh yeah, we're about to enter into the clear. For the most part. It's pretty ugly scenery down there. I do apologize. Ooh, yeah, this makes up for it though. Little Carta engines. I like this view right here. Let's just chill out right here. Ultra realistic view. Alright, we can go ahead and clean up all this. We should probably clean that out. Where are we going? VTBS. Bangkok Suvarnabhumi. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm not even going to try. Not even going to try. Since the arrival in Bangkok, I'm guessing the next flight is going to be that Thai 340. I don't know if it'll be a 340. I got to figure out where we're going out of Bangkok. All right, 20-9, way down here. We're gonna land on 19er on left, and then we'll land. Actually, no, I think we said we're landing on runway 1, didn't we? What do I have us set up for? Let's take a look here. I have it set up for 19 left. Okay, that'll work. Oh, 19 left over Longco. Alright. So, let's pull out the approach chart. ILS. What do they got? Let's do an R&P. Do an R&P 19er left. How about we do that? That's kind of a boring one. R&P 19er left. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. I was hoping there'd be some type of fun approach. What's the VOR? I'm not doing a VOR, but I'm just curious. Ugh. Definitely don't want to do that. Robert S., thank you for the super chat, man. Keep up the awesome content you create. V1 for life. Robert S., thank you so much for your support, man. Appreciate it. Very much appreciative, sir. Thank you. I guess we can do the R&P. Let's just do the R&P. It's something different. What the hell? Exclamation point sky is what you're looking for, Carson. Exclamation point sky. R&P 19er left. And we're on the... There we go. We'll insert that. Pull this out again. So it starts out here at a Lindsay. And you know what we can do is, if we go perf, next phase, let's do FLS style approach. So we're going to do an FLS. We're not going to do final app. You can do final app or FLS. We'll do an FLS approach. And while I got it here, well, I think this would be an final app approach, unfortunately. Because there is no... I think you can do it as an FLS, even though it's LNAV, VNAV minimum. We'll do 600 since I'm here, and that's off the Barrow. We'll do it as an FLS, just while I got up. We don't have to set up just yet. We're a little bit early, but I wanted to just get that in there. Let's go back to our flight plan. What are we at? 294? Yeah, we got about 40 miles or so. Then we're going to start planning on going down. Wow, look at this. You wouldn't want to be going any higher than that. We're probably already, are we at above max? Yeah, recommended max is 37. We're at 38. So if we got any bumps at all, we are going down. Not going down, but we are, what am I trying to say? We are descending to a lower altitude because you don't have a 1.3 buffet margin up here above max. So after Lipley, yeah, we're going to connect. I got to get rid of that disco. It's because I changed the runway, got the disco back in there. That's real to the real airplane. So, man, Toliss has come very, very far on their FMS box. It is much more realistic now and much more updated. It functions very true to the real airplane. Ooh, that's kind of a cool shot. You're doing one right? Okay, Christian. Yeah, you're well ahead of me. You'll have a shorter taxi. FLS is an FMS. It's type or predicated vertical profile approach. All right. Time for some coffee and some New Year sounds. Coffin's Corner at its finest. Yes, sir, Captain Tom. Whoa. This is not supposed to be in my New Year's library. Why is it that Av Geeks like the same things? Because we're all Av Geeks, man. That's what brings us together. That's why I love streaming with you guys. We get to talk about weird things in aviation. We get to talk about airplanes. We get to talk about Airbus. We all share a common interest. 050 at 6 is the winds? Ooh. Well, we can do it. 10 knot tailwinds are limitation. We'll be all right. That's what you want to hear of the PA. This is your captain speaking. We're good at 50380. Should be good, but one bump and we'll be going down. Nope. Yeah, I wouldn't want to make that PA, Tom. Or Carter. Oh, sorry, I insulted you. I called you Captain Tom. My apologies, Carter. One bump and we'll be going down. Yeah, I'm at lower altitude. That's what that recommended max is. So recommended max is the recommended highest altitude that you could fly and maintain a 1.3 G buffet margin. Basically, it doesn't have to be in still air, and you maintain your margins. So you can fly. There's nothing prohibiting you above flying recommended max. You can go above it. It's not a limitation. The limitation in the U.S. is 39.8, so 390 for the Airbus. But it's not recommended. It's a recommendation, and you probably should follow it. But where are we going? VTBS. I'll put this in there. VTBS. Optimum 36. So yeah, it would be more optimum to fly at 36. How's our gas, by the way? 32 minutes. We'll copy the active. Don't you need WAS? No, you need position monitoring, R&P. You need to be certified. And FMS2, this airplane, and Toliss is certified for it. So it'll actually show us when we get down there. But because this approach isn't like, there's no high R&P requirement or anything, it's just a straight in. But it should give us a path, actually. If we go, I'll go direct Lindsay. Actually, can we draw it out from Limos? We should just go to Limos. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's go LEMOS. I'm put that under the disco. It's 200 miles away. Then I'm going to clear this. And then we're going to make a restriction here to match the chart. 5,220 knots. So we'll do 220 on the speed and the altitude is 5,000. And I'll be curious to see if we go direct there, if it will actually set us up for a vertical profile. I'm curious on this. I'm still, this whole FMS2 is something that's still very new to me. We have them coming on our airplanes. I went through some sim training on it in the beginning of December, but I'm still very much learning this whole FMS2 situation. So what I want to do now, this is another cool function of the Airbus. I'm sure you could do it on a Boeing too, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do here, because I'm going to change up this flight plan. So I don't want to fly this whole racetrack nonsense traffic management pattern. So what I'm going to do is I want to go after passing Sovki, which is right here, this intersection. I want to go direct to Limos. So how can I do that without clearing all the waypoints out? It's very easy. So I'm going to click on Sovki, which is the waypoint that I want to go after from. So after Sovki, it says next waypoint. After Sovki, I want to go to Limos. So I'm going to just type in the Limos intersection, and it's going to pull it from my flight plan, which is 448 miles away. And there you go. So now I have, with one insert, I've cleared out all this traffic management arrival, which we don't need to fly. So now I'm going to insert that. That's going to shorten us up significantly. We're probably going to have to start down here pretty soon. Matter of fact, we might have already. That's going to shorten it up pretty good. Now we're still looking good, but definitely going to shorten up our time en route. Thank you so much for the bank angle check donation. Hubble 121, thank you, sir. As someone from Thailand, good to see VTBS being featured. Also, no worries, even for native Thai. Suvambhumi Airport is hard to pronounce and spell. Well, I apologize for completely butchering it and making it not even close, but thank you so much for your $2 donation. I appreciate your support here on the channel. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the approach and arrival into your native airport. Country? Airport? Thailand? What's my favorite music? Man, Robert S., I like a lot of music, man. A lot of different variants. Obviously, I listen to country music a lot, but I like rock music. In fact, growing up, I like, the old school alternative rock. I like that. There is some rap that I actually like, pretty much the old rap, like old school rap, like Biggie and, I guess Eminem's not old school, but Eminem and just the rap back then, I would say early 2000s, late 90s. That rap, it was almost like there were these stories being told in the songs, and the music was very intriguing to listen to, and I appreciate it even to this day. Now, some of the new modern rap, I just turn it off. It's the same 3 words over and over with an auto-tune. But the old school stuff I do appreciate. I like some instrumental stuff, not a whole lot. I don't listen to it a ton unless, we're making pasta and spaghetti or something. We'll turn on some, maybe not opera, but, just some instrumental music. But I pretty much cover the board, I'll listen to, when I'm working out, I do just a hard rock, not so much metal. There are some metal-ish songs that I like, but not a ton. But it is fair to say that I pretty much cover the spectrum when it comes to music. I do like a lot of different music. Do you think RNAV will eventually place ILS? Yes, absolutely, Ivan. It's going to be a while, but I do think it will happen. Maxes aren't recommended if you ask me. Is there anywhere you'd love to land in real life that you haven't if you were given the opportunity? I would have loved to land in Kai-Tak. I think that is one of the most iconic approaches, one of the top 3 most iconic approaches in aviation, period. I would love to have landed there at Kai-Tak as a pilot. I think that would be incredible. Where else? That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more. I'll probably think of them. Happy New Year to you and your fam. Checking in with the like. Thank you, HD Sim. I appreciate you stopping by for the like button there, man. Much appreciated. Hey, Captain, in your opinion, which simulates normal operation best? Toliss or flight factor? Toliss. Toliss, man. The flight factor, I don't know what is going on with the pitch axis in the flight factor. It's super twitchy to me. I don't know if it's just been... The flight models have changed at X-Plane and it's still on an outdated type of flight model. I don't know. The Toliss flies the most realistic to me in normal day-to-day ops. And of course you get the abnormals. The abnormals in the Toliss are fantastic. I use the Toliss to train my abnormal when I go into recurrent training. Bone Thugs and Harmony. Yes, sir. Yes, Lamb. Definitely. Any information about the Carta CFMs? Maybe approximate release date? Unknown at this time. I should have flown with them today just so Carta would get spammed with a bunch of more questions on the CFMs. But no, don't worry. They're not ready yet. Carta is what, you're working on the level up stuff, right? I've been seeing a lot of the level up stuff. Level up, everyone's streaming level up 737s. I didn't even really know what it was until everyone started streaming it. Watched a little bit of Cap Canada the other night and this level up 7.3. I think Q8's doing it at 800. Has anybody streamed the Dash 600 yet? I want to see the 737-600. That is one. I think that was the first PMDG airplane I bought. Was it 6, 7, and 8 that came out? I bought the very first PMDG 7.3. I think that was either the 800, and then they came out with an expansion. But when the 600 came out on FSX, I flew the PMDG 600 a lot. Yes, I've flown in Key West multiple times, Michael Foster. It's not that bad if you're as long as you're underweight and you don't float. It's short, but you can do it. It's a flat approach. The scenery's not all that great until you get on the ground. There's a couple of bars that have some rooftop bars that are pretty nice to go to. The scenery is really good there, but on the approach, it's just a couple islands, not too special. Rusty C, 9-month celebration. Hey, Rusty, I appreciate that support. 9 whole months, dude. Thank you so much. Commercial pilot, nonetheless. Salute to you, sir. Hey, Captain, looking forward to another year of V1 Sims. On call for the fire service tonight, but have some time off tomorrow. Cheers to you, Rusty. Again, thank you, man. First responders, firefighters, paramedics, police, all you guys who make the world go around. Thank you so much. I hope you have a quiet call. I hope you have a quiet evening as a fire service, Rusty. But appreciate your support. Yes, 2022 I think is going to be a much better year for the channel. I think 2022 is going to be a much, much better year for the channel. I think there's going to be a lot of good things coming out. I think Microsoft Flight Sim is going to be a big player in 22. We'll see. Led Zeppelin, Guns N' Roses. I'm scrolling back, Christian. Yes, sir. Well, definitely good music, man. I'm all that. Old school rock, too. Listen to it, definitely. Happy New Year's Eve. Oh. Oh, my wife decided to tune in. That's my wife. Everyone say hi to my wife. Thanks, Thor. Appreciate it. Can't wait for the new side stick to arrive. Jeff, you and me both. I have mine, but you're going to love it. I can't wait for you guys to get your side sticks because I think that you are going to be very impressed. You're going to be very surprised at how different it's going to fly. You're going to have to retrain yourself how to flare and how to rotate the airplane. But it is, to this day, I've been going through, so every time I get in an Airbus now, I look at the side stick and I'm trying to figure out which side stick is actually represented. And actually, let's look here at the Toliss. All right, so the Toliss has the exact same replication as the one that I have, the FSprojects. Now, if you watched my side stick video, you'll note that I showed a new 320Neo, and I've actually seen it on some 321s now too, where they do have this button is, I wouldn't say recessed, but it just looks a little bit different. But you can't even tell that. I mean, when you put your hand on the stick, it's the same thing. I mean, it literally is just a difference of how they did it. I think the more modern side sticks, I would imagine it was an upgrade to prevent accidental hitting of this disconnect push button. But I don't think I've ever accidentally disconnected it with the disconnect push button. You push that button down, it's pretty well known, unless you hit it with your foot or something. I've bumped the stick with my leg, trying to cross my leg over one time and disconnected the autopilot. But yeah, it's funny. This is the exact same side stick that you guys will have from the FS Projects team. Good stuff. Coming up on top of descent, we got to enter some destination data. And we'll do that here via active sky. Wow, we're not going to come down at 340 knots. While I would like to rip the wings off, we're not going to do that. Let's do 78 and 340. 78, 340 knots for the descent. Nope. Oh my gosh, I screwed up again. 78, 320 knots. Set. Q8 just streamed the 600? Oh, I'll have to go back and check it out, Andy. All right. Let's see here. Active sky. What do we got? VTBS right now 10:15. No significant weather. Temperature of 24. Wind is 050 at 6. Landing with the tailwind. Should be interesting. We might smash it. 050 at 6. We'll do 149. We're doing an FLS and config full. That looks good. Our bottom altitude, what did we make over Limos? Was 5,000, so I'm going to set 5. But we're not actually going to start down just yet. We still have a little bit more time. Whoa. All right, let's do a flyby view. Oh boy, we can't look at that scenery. We can't look at that. There's not much to look at here. I was going to do this flight in Microsoft Flight Sim, but I wanted to take this 321Neo up and do that takeoff recreation. That just was so weird. So weird how they went through that whole scenario. When you get typed in the Airbus, can you fly the 1921? Yes, you can. 21 is a little bit different. I think there's some differences training you go through, but it's the same type rating. You're qualified to fly them all. It's a cocktail time. I'm ready. Also, these headphones are really amazing. That's my contribution. Enjoy the stream. I will have a great one. Which head? Are you talking about the headphones that I just bought that are at the house? You're obviously on the computer at home. What year did the channel begin? Jeremy. As far as flight simulation, I don't know. Been 3 years. I think it's close to 3 years. Been a while. I haven't been streaming the whole time. I started out by just doing videos. Thank you, InScore. Appreciate that. Happy New Year's to you. Need to teach Flight Deck to Sim to fly the A320 family. Hey, man, I've seen his streams. He can handle his own. But yeah, we got to get a 2022. Here's the goal. One of the main goals for 2022 is we got to get a multi-crew with Flight Deck to Sim. That is on the goal plan for 2022. The A320NX is getting better, just not quite there yet. Yeah, I've been watching it. That never gets old. The bank angle check never gets old. Smooth Ops, thank you for the $10 dono, man. I appreciate that. Happy New Year to you, your family, and all in chat. I want to say thank you for all you do for flight simulation community. Because of your tutorials and streams, I have learned to fly an Airbus. Smooth Ops, salute to you, sir. Thank you so much for the $10 dono. Very much appreciative of that. I hope you have a happy new year as well, and many, many more Airbus flights to come. Yeah, definitely Q8 too, Team Vodka. Here's the 2022 goal list. Multi-crew, Q8, Flight Deck to Sim. Definitely has to happen. Q8 would be huge for me because he's the reason I ever even entertained the idea of X-Plane 11. So it'd be pretty cool for me to be able to do a multi-crew with him. 380 approaching TOD, not quite there yet. Let's go ahead and let's do something. Should we do a sunset approach? We're gonna fast forward the time. Because the scenery is not that great. So let's do a golden hour approach, alright? Oh yeah. Since it's going to be New Year's Eve anyway. Well, it's already New Year's in Thailand, but... Mountain Man, thank you for the $5 dono. Appreciate it. Love the Airbus insights. Still waiting for joint cockpit with XP. Oh yeah, XP too, obviously. Oh, yeah, definitely XP too. But maybe that would be too much brilliance in one spot. Happy New Year, Mountain Man. You're absolutely right, man. Flight deck to SimQA pilot, XP72, all in the multi-crew for sure. Seven miles from TOD. Here we go. Push it. Mock descent. I never turned the seatbelt sign off. My bad. Now it can come back on. We're starting down. Look at this descent window, Jeremy. Talk about a tight one. This is your econ descent window. You don't have a whole lot of margin. There is our vertical descent China hat, we call it. We're 1,700 feet below profile. So the Airbus is going to maintain a 1,000 feet per minute descent rate, which it is, until capturing the vertical profile, indicated by this little squiggly blue line there. So everything is indicating properly as it should. If you do that with Flight Data Sim, you got to take the rotate MD-80, so neither of you have the home advantage. Can you do multi-crew in the MD-80? That would be very interesting, Andy. I don't know if you can. Three-man multi-crew in the 742, that would be epic. Well, yeah, it'll happen, Christian. It'll happen. Oh yeah, here we go. Here are the engines spooling back. We hit our profile descent, so now it's going to go thrust idle, and it's going to pick up on that descent. So now if we look at the descent profile, we're doing more than 1,000 feet per minute, and you can see we've caught up to our vertical deviation donut, or the green dot. Out of 35,000 feet, look at our econ descent window has now opened up significantly. Coffin corner is pretty much gone away out of 35,000 feet at our current weight. We're pretty light too, only 5,600 pounds of fuel on board. Ooh, boy. Steve, good to see you today. Was flying around DaNang yesterday to see where my father-in-law served in Nam. Steve, you and me both, man. My father served in Vietnam as well, in the Navy. But thank you for stopping by, Steve. Appreciate you. Team Vodka, I don't think anybody will ever fly multi-crew in a FedEx Phenom. No, sir. Have I tried the Sparky Freeware 7.4? Chris, I have not. What model 7.4 is it? Is it a 400 or 800? Is it a newer one? I think I've heard of that Sparky Freeware 7.4, but I don't, my knowledge ends there. I think I've heard it. Maybe XP72 streamed it. Douglas, well, that's exciting. I'm going to get back in it. Ooh, Team Vodka, I was looking back. Yeah, it might be a good point. Members only stream. Yeah, to keep it from getting too wild. That's a good idea. All right, flyby here in descent mode. This might be one of the ugliest scenery flights I've ever done on X-Plane, but hey, it is what it is. They can't all be winners. All right, we're already set up for the approach. Where LS push buttons are off, or actually, no, we don't need LS push buttons for this approach because we are FLS. Yeah, so we don't need LS push buttons. That's good. Seatbelt sign is on. Temperatures are good. Everything is fine. Let's do a quick systems check here. Wait, what? Look at that. The high pressure bleed valves are open because the thrust is at idle. That's cool. Let's see that too. The modeling the system's depth has really impressed me with Toliss. From where they started out to where they are now has just been... this is no doubt my favorite Airbus on X-Plane. I still think my favorite's the 19 just because I like flying the 19, but the 321Neo, you can't deny that juice shot right there. Listen at a low hum. Let's get the audios back up a little bit here. Full immersion time. Bring the hum in of the engine. I think it's this weather, it can go down a little bit. Listen to that bass. Okay, that might be a little aggressive. We'll do like 60%. Is that still too loud? 45. I just love that hum, that low pitch, just hum. Jeremy, yes, Challenger 650, January 7th. Make sure you save the date because we're going to do a day in the life, and I'll probably learn that airplane on stream with you, and then we're going to fly it all day. We'll do 4 legs that I did in real life many times as a corporate pilot, day in the life corporate pilot. I think our route's going to be Scottsdale, Vegas, John Wayne, and then John Wayne back to Phoenix. And by I say Phoenix, probably Scottsdale Air Park. It's where I used to fly out of when I flew corporate jets. So I never flew the 650, but we're going to learn it on stream. We're going to learn it by the time we finish that day, that marathon stream. I think we'll be professionals. That was a lot of fun. That when we did the BAE 146 marathon stream, a day in the life of an AirCal pilot. That was a brutal long day of flying on the stream, but it was fun. Other than the phantom crashing. What's the longest flight I've done an X-plane? Tyron, it was probably on stream. It was probably, I don't know, it'd probably be our LA to Honolulu, or we did a 7-hour stream in a 319 when we went from JFK to London City. Probably one of those two. How realistic is Sky Atmosphere on Microsoft? I haven't been in Microsoft Flight Sim since the last time we streamed it. So if you can't remember the last time you saw a stream of me in Microsoft Flight Sim, me neither. That's how long it's been. But it'll happen. I'll probably, realistically, I'll probably start the update after this stream. I haven't updated it in a while. That's honestly, it sounds so petty and so stupid, I know, but the fact that I have to update when they update the sim is one of the main drawbacks for me personally, because when everything's working and I'm enjoying it, I don't want to update it, Like let people who want to update, and then eventually I'll update mine. But when I go into the sim and I'm like, oh, I got a 30 gig update I have to do, well, I'm not flying Microsoft today. That's kind of how I feel. And it's so petty and it's kind of stupid, but that's just my personal experience with being forced to update on Microsoft Flight Sim. I wish there was an option. I understand when they have to do bug fixes and critical sim updates, but think about, I was talking in the Discord too, when Microsoft Flight Simulator X came out, early 2000s? You know how many updates that sim got throughout the course of over a decade of being the pinnacle of flight simulation? You know how many updates it had? 2. Service Pack 1 and Service Pack 2. And you had to buy them on a CD and install them. Did I pick up Whataburger on the way home after the escape from Tahoe? 2 tons, I did. I sure did, man. It was late night. It was the only thing open. I think I was going to go to Panda, but they were closed, so I went to Whataburger. Just went true Texan way there, man. Raptor M, welcome to Private Pilot, sir. Glad to have you on board. Welcome to the stream. We are on our descent into Bangkok, Thailand. This is Mountainous Terrain Airport. We'll have terrain on ND. Let's look alive here. Let's go ahead and kill this dome light. We don't need that in here either. We got terrain on ND. We're coming down into the mountains. I bet this would look pretty good with real ortho, but if I'm streaming somewhere where we're only going to fly there one time on stream, I'm not going to spend the resources to put in 15, 20 gigs of scenery just for one stream. Steve, the last Microsoft update destroyed the Bravo throttle bindings. Oh, see, that's another thing that I can't. Rebinding stuff is also a pet peeve of mine. I hate having to rebind things. FS 2020 is crashing me. I'm getting 10 airs. X-plane works better for me. Yeah, everyone has different experiences, man. I've heard good and bad. That's the great thing about X-Plane. When they were rolling out Vulcan, you could choose. Exactly. I haven't ran Vulcan since it came out. I'm still on OpenGL. E&B, you're a software developer. Companies have a mentality of rush functionality, patch bugs as they go along. Not my preference of how it should work. Yeah. Yep. I agree, man. I feel that's how I feel. It's a rush mentality. Ooh, the sun just set, I think. I think we're gonna be high. Let's go. We're gonna be high here. Let's go 5,000. Open descent. No, we're not. We're in the turn now. Oh, it's getting juicy now. How long is Microsoft Flight Simulator Flight School? I don't know. I never did it. All right, so we're coming back to 250. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select 250. I'm gonna make it blue. I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna activate, confirm the approach phase. Oh, you know what? It's below 14. Crap. Let me go back to manage. Will it go out constraint star? It's giving me an orange. What is it saying it can't do? It can't make it at 10,000? Or 11 and 14? It's having a hard time making it between 11 and 14? Really? Interesting. Let's give it a little spoid brake action. Let's help it out. Back on our vertical profile. We're still coming back to 250 knots. All right, we're through transition. Oh no, 250 here. It was 1021, I believe, is what we had, right? 1021? No, 1015. 1015 is set. 1, 2, and 3. It was put terrain on the FO side as well. We're going through 10,000. Let's go ahead and get our lights on. We'll leave the other lights off. I don't believe there's any traffic in the way here. Not yet. We're looking good. 250 knots on the descent. Ooh, look at that shot right there. What's the correct time to activate approach phase? So, because in the US, we have a lot of different things, a lot of vectoring that goes on, at where I work, we manually pull speed at 10,000, and that's when we activate and confirm the approach phase. At 10,000 is when you manually activate and confirm the approach phase. As a general rule of thumb. Now, FMS2, there's going to be some tweaking to that, I believe, but currently where I work, that's what we do. It just makes life easier, more simple when you're getting vectored around. Who is the developer for the Challenger 650? Isn't it Hot Start? Is it Hot Start? Someone will probably correct me in chat. Alright, so we're going to meet this constraint. A little bit more juice there in the background. Let's do a flyby. I love the Neo. Yeah, this doesn't look all that far off. Flyby on the turn. The 321Neo with sharklets is one of the best looking Airbuses there is. Right? I mean, you can't deny. I mean, look how juicy this thing looks. It reminds me of a slightly of a mini 757. Big ol' engines, skinny body. See where I'm going with this? All right, out of 10, What I'm going to do here, we're going to go open descent now down to 5, and then we're going to go spoid brake action to help us out here with this descent. Torque sim, hot start torque sim, cool. That's really loud. Man, the speed brake sounds are super loud. I guess we should pay attention. Where are we at? I'm just going to say Thailand traffic. Vietnam 1543. We're approaching Limos for the RNAV 19 our left approach, which is about a 15-mile final for 19 our left, Thailand. All right, lights are on. We're at a 10. We do need to hit Limos at 220. I'll go ahead and get rid of that since we don't need it anymore. 220 knots. Let's dial that in. Let's go ahead and start slowing it down. I want to get on profile. Now, I believe if I activate the approach here, let's go approach, activate. LS button on now. We have FLS, Alt, F glide slope, and F loc. And that's exactly how it looks like in the real plane. And there is our extended F loc. So you see this pink magenta line? That is an FMS localizer prediction. That's why it's called F loc. So we are on it. We're also below VFE minus 10, flaps 1. But that is why you have that pink magenta line. I was complaining to the instructor in the sim. I was saying that this is just too much information up here. I mean, this is like we're getting crazy with it now, but whatever. That's what they want to do. I'm going to go ahead and keep walking it back. Christopher says, I really dislike sharklets on the fences. Are Airbus to me? Sharklets are something Boeing has. Chris, I like it on the 321. I like the sharklets on 321. But I do like the wingtip fences. And I used to, that's how I used to identify Airbus as a kid, was the wingtips. But I agree, I understand where you're coming from. But for the 321, I like that sharklet juice on there. But it is very classic seeing a standard 321 with wingtip fences. Oh man, look at everyone lining up for opposite direction traffic. We're also high, so let's not spill all of the coffee. Let's go spoid brakes maximum. There's our F loc. We need to get down. Let's set 2,000. We're never going to catch this. We're never going to catch this in the localizer here. All right. Not that one. Takeoff and landing cam is activated. We are getting high here. Let's go gear down. VFE minus 10, flaps 3. Flaps full. Way early, but we need to get down on profile. What is so loud? I'm not loving this sound pack. Oh well, we're back on it. It's going to be interesting. Thailand, or Bangkok traffic, Vietnam 1543 out of 5,000 feet on a 10-mile final, 19 our left. I see someone opposite direction. Raptor M, it's not just you, my friend. It's not just you. You know what? Let's sidestep. Should we sidestep? Bangkok traffic, Vietnam 1543. We're going to go ahead and sidestep to a 19 right. Full stop, Bangkok. All right, let's do this. Let's do some flying, shall we? Autopilot off, flight director's off, LS push buttons off. Give me the bird in chat. We're going to sidestep all the way over. It's not the speed brake sound, it's the, I think it's the gear. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. I will turn it way down. But yeah, I hate to say it because I normally like BSS, but his this Neo pack is just not all that great in my opinion. All right, so we're gonna come back here, 3-degree path. What I should do is throw in 19 right. I'm just gonna throw in the runway. Runway 19 right, insert. Ah, we are in heading. I wanna let me insert that. I just want runway 19 right. No star, no via. Insert. I'm in heading and track though. That's weird. That's a little bit of a bug. Oh well. We'll get rid of the box. It should let me just put that in. Let's go back to our bird mode.
2000.
I don't have XP Realistic on. It's off. XP Realistic is off. That's straight out of the sound pack, dude. Alright, I see 2 whites, 2 reds out there. We overshot the center line a little bit. Not a big deal. We are coming down on the path now. 2 whites, 2 reds, Bangkok traffic, Vietnam 1543. We're on a 5-mile final, 19 right, Bangkok. Wind 098 at 4, a little bit of a
Bangkok
crosswind.
traffic, Vietnam 176, we vacated 0 on right on Bravo, taxiing to the ramp. Happy New Year, everyone.
1000.
Happy New Year. So our vertical descent, I think, will also be off. A little green diamond here. I think that's going for 19 left. Although this is showing 19 right now, so maybe it is on. Got to get that crossing correction in there. It's blowing me off center line there. A little bit low correcting. Insight landing.
500.
Stable. POI drops down, looking good. Love the Toliss. Absolutely love the Toliss. Last flight sim landing of 2021. For me, anyway.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
Oh yeah. Spoilers. Where are my landing ray plugins at? Really? No landing ray plugin. Yeah, wow. Interesting. The reverse screen, manual brakes here. We'll take this next one. 70 knots, idle reverse, stow it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bangkok, Thailand. We're here. Now we got to fill out a ASAP report because of our flap overspeed. This airplane's probably got to be checked out by maintenance. Bangkok traffic, VN1543. We're clear, 1 on the right, taxi to the ramp. Good night, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Let's go ahead and clean it up. Head over to the ramp. The Raptor. The landing gear plug-in moved into the new year already. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I unfortunately got to say I can't recommend this sound pack for the Neo. This is the BSS one. It's missing too much. I don't know. Oh well. It was 105 on the overlay. I'll take that. Did I mess with X Vision? It might have disabled Lewis Slam. That's a good point. It might have. I might have to take a look at it. It felt good though. A little bit of a float. Not much. Not much. Where'd everyone park at? Oh, they're over there. We'll take the next right. Let's go ahead and get the APU fired up. Someone wanted to see a single engine. We'll do a single engine taxi too here if we get a little bit closer. All right, let's go ahead and fire up the APU. That's an accurate sound. Donk, donk. Brake fan is hot. Let's see, what do we have for temps? 340. Got on him a little hard there. I should have probably used auto brakes. So this is the only, I've talked about this. The only time I like using auto brakes is when there's a crosswind. We had about a 9 knot crosswind, direct crosswind. I should have used auto brakes 100% because look, I was a little bit heavy on the left foot. So now I've got asymmetric heating of the brakes. So just like what would happen in the real airplane, if you're heavy on one foot, you heat up one side more so than the other. But should have possibly used the auto brake situation there. This is the 3rd tallest ATC tower? Really? Is it over there? Alright, APU is on the line. Let's go ahead and secure engine 2. Yellow electric pump is on. Confirmed 2. Confirmed. Spool it down. Which one are you, Christian? Said park near you. Are you 176? I see another Vietnam coming in there. So cool seeing that stationary Neo motor right there. I like single engine. I'm amused by some of the stupidest things. Oh, he turned early. I'm gonna park over here. We'll park right here on the end next to this Vietnam Airbus. Taxi light will come off. Charlie 10 is the gate. Ooh, we have a auto park system, maybe? Okay, that was trippy. I thought that was a reflection of my airplane. That's someone else's airplane. That's cool. A321, that's us. Sin City, thank you for the membership celebration, sir. Get to it in a second. Want me to go right? Burp. Brake set, engine 2 is off. Seatbelt sign, engine 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Thailand. Sin City, thank you for the 15-month celebration, man. Happy New Year to everyone. Make it a fun and stay safe and healthy. Yes, sir, Jablino. Yes, sir, indeed. Let's do a shutdown. There we go. Asia Pacific Tour 2021 has concluded. Into 2022 next. Yeah, there's that tower. That's cool. All right, let's take a look at the replay. Let's show you guys in a replay mode. Let's disconnect from VATSIM. Let's see what we did here. That was a long taxi-in. Yeah, sound pack just sounds weird. A bunch of random stuff. Yeah, Chris, unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of it anymore. I do have to put these on, don't I? Oh. Yeah. Oh well. Debrief on Discord? I'll pop in for a few minutes. Why not? I feel like the sound and replay is even a little off. Boris, where you at, man? Happy belated winter solstice, everyone. See you in 22. See you, Niels. 21 months. Wojtek, happy and healthy new year. 28 months. Goodness, that's about as long as the channel's been, or memberships have been around. Thank you, Wojtek. Appreciate that. Fubar says, thanks for the great year of streams, V1. Hope you and your family have a great night. Happy New Year, V1 and everyone. Yes, sir, Fubar. Same to you. Same to you. All right, well, this was a long, drawn-out replay view. Oh, here we go. Here's a better shot. It doesn't look bad on approach. No, this airport's a nice little scenery here. Freeware scenery from the Org forums. Just doesn't sound right. That wing flexed like we smashed it. Alright. I'm not too impressed with this replay, so we're not gonna be here too long. If the Phoenix Sim is all that I may have to break up with Fly by Wire, I'll let her down. We'll see when it's out, man. We will see. I am indeed looking forward to that airplane as well. Ooh, boy. A little bit of a... Yeah, it seemed firm. Well, it's not the best. A little bit firm. Right on centerline, though. All right, everybody. Ooh, let's watch it from the tallest tower in the world, the third tallest tower in the world. Guys, thank you for tuning in today, this afternoon. I hope everyone has a wonderful, happy, healthy New Year's Eve. I look forward to seeing everybody in 2022. 2021 has been interesting for all parties involved. I hope 22 brings very many great memories and flight sim experiences for everybody involved. So thank you, everybody, for your support. My mods, thank you for being reliable and modding the channel and taking action when action is needed. All the members, thank you so much for supporting the channel here with your consistent memberships throughout, 28 plus months of even having memberships. It's just awesome to see the support. All the donations, thank you. Thank you for your support. Your contributions are very welcomed. Helps the channel, helps me reinvest into the sim to bring you guys better content. And lastly, everyone else just hanging out in chat, I love you guys just as much. Hit the like button for me on the way out if you will, please. And until next year, stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. See ya!